summer, Mike likes machine guns.
I like machine guns. Welcome to episode 4 with Jim Staley. Or his mother calls him, probably she was mad a lot, James Staley. Am
Jimmy,
I right?
Bimmy. There's a lot of different names.
First, I'd like to start off by thanking our sponsor, Food Club, for the delicious purified drinking water. I think you can get it at any quality Kroger outlet. Just want to say thanks for that. Sorry, little business.
Yeah, we've gone through, this is our second water sponsor. First it was Kroger, and there was some drama internally with them. They weren't really paying their bills, so, right? Something like that?
You know, I thought that would work out a lot better.
It's the pH is way off.
But
That's why we're talking to Arrowhead right now.
it is what it is.
Yeah, the pH is off on this.
I'd like to say 7-Eleven's on the table as well.
I think Dasani. Some people complain it's a little too oily, but Dasani. Yeah.
We'll see if the Arrowhead thing falls through. You never know what's going to happen with our sponsorships.
Yeah, so I guess they probably should be okay with there being a Monster on the table.
Yeah, I mean, for
It's
all
not
I know,
energy.
all I know, we could be
It's not
sponsored
on the table.
it's
Behind the table.
soon enough.
And it's actually kind of hovering above it a little.
Oh, he's a little red. I got him already. We got off to a good start.
So if you guys don't know, Jim and Mike are besties, right? Is that what we're calling it? Not lovers, right?
I don't know if we're besties, but I'd say right up there.
Yeah.
Very
We're close.
comfortable.
Yeah, we're way comfortable.
Some of the coolest memories I have to date now, and it's been almost a year at Dead Air, is working with you, Jim, and Tac Gas. Maybe tell the audience what Tac Gas is and how you started it and all that good stuff.
First, I'd like to say some of my best memories are also working with you, and some of them are just telling you to stop fucking posting shit.
This is true. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but you've got a lot better.
Rich can be a little aggressive on the posts
Yeah.
that he shouldn't post.
We
Well,
sign
people
on
get happy.
NDAs.
They're like, woo, woo, woo. Yeah, it's a
Secret
thing.
stuff.
Yeah, get all those little dopamine hits, those little hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the original question?
Tac
before?
Gas. How did Tac Gas come to be? Tell the audience what Tac Gas is. And then maybe a little bit of what Tac Gas is up to in 2021.
Yeah, without getting too much into like a little pitch, but we started just from seeing poorly executed photo shoots, video shoots, that kind of thing in terms of the tactical authenticity, and so we kind of took a stab at it and applied like basic military mission planning and attention to detail, and paid off. It's been a good ride so far. But yeah, we're a production company and a prop house kind of mixed. Mm-hmm. So kind of a one-stop shop if you want.
And your guys' props are
technical.
amazing.
Yeah, that was kind of phase one, was building out all that inventory and developing systems, like most businesses, I'm sure.
Sure. I was just going to say, I, for one, really appreciate the authenticity of the props.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. It's harder than people think to collect all that stuff and get it in a pile and get it organized and be able to pull it out. Not that you give a tour, but if a person could take a tour of your facility, I think it'd be pretty interesting.
The new one, we got a new building going up right now. It's been a total pain in the ass with COVID in the city and
Building in the winter.
yeah. I mean, it was supposed to start in the spring, but everything's delayed as per the SOP. But yeah, I think a lot of the city people are been at home with no pants on for like 12 months.
Just a shirt and tie.
Yeah, I don't know if even
Zoom
that.
meeting.
I think they've probably been playing Call of Duty, which has been good for us, I guess. But to get them to get permits and
So can you talk about that at all? Like your guys' relationship at all with them, or?
yeah, Call of Duty, you mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We started simple enough. We they wanted some night vision and some lasers and stuff for the developers to kind of, I guess, aim around the office and kind of get a feel for what it's like so they could make the game more realistic. And then from there, we ended up doing a photo shoot for Ghost. It was our first project with them for the Modern Warfare game. And after that, it took off and pretty much do all the photo shoots for the development team, to everything from casting playable characters to building out their gear.
And let me tell you guys, in person, on set, Ghost and some of these other characters are way cooler. I don't know, like the back to the authenticity aspect of it. It's like, what did you do, like, to compile all these different components that make up the character in such a real way?
Yeah, it depends on the game. Obviously, the current Cold War Black Ops version of the game is a little more playful, a little more comic booky, so it's a different style. And then the next game that hasn't come out yet, that has a different style. And then the Modern Warfare game, which is still going, but the sun's kind of setting on that one, was a little more emphasis on tactical correctness and authenticity and stuff like that. But just like everyone always says, never violate rule number 1, look fucking cool.
Yeah.
And when it comes to video games, it's got to be fun. It's got to be interesting. So there is some stuff that is not perfectly tactically correct, like exposed frags and things like that you would never do. People click on it. People buy those bundles more. It's more fun. And video games, rule number 1 is make it fun.
Yeah, so the tactical guys that are playing and see that are like, hey, that's not accurate. Like, well, it was intentional.
Yeah, we screw some stuff up here and there, but most of the time we push as hard as we can with still making it cool.
Now, maybe give the audience a little bit, too, about your background, military background, if you're down, because that plays a pretty integral role in your accuracy with the photo shoots and video.
Yeah, we have a lot of veterans that work for us. My background specifically, I was a Marine for 8 years, started at Recon Battalion, which is kind of more of a...
With Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy was there when I was there.
We're going to have Rudy on.
Yeah, I think not next week, but following Fieldcraft, literally the day after we film with Fieldcraft, Rudy is what
that
they
should
call
be
him.
Interesting, huh?
I think you need to not wear your shirt, too.
I don't know.
You need a schmog and no shirt. I love Rudy to death, and I would bust his balls the exact same if he was sitting right here.
Mm-hmm.
And, him and Jade are some of my favorite people.
Total power couple.
Yeah, they're a good fit.
Oh, we've got UPS.
This
is the first time UPS has ever come to interrupt a podcast.
That's weird.
The mailman, what is up?
What's up, guys?
I feel like this is a scam and it's going to turn into like a stripogram.
I'm worried about what's in here.
We got a package.
No, it's not even sealed. Like, you guys are horrible executors. Just bust it out. Let's see it.
What is it?
It's a big double ender. I know it's
Here,
gonna be-
come in here a little bit so we get you in frame. What do we have? Is there anything in there?
This one's signature required from Mike.
Let's see your little
That is
signature
a single
thing.
end. That is a single ender. You don't even have the little deal.
Oh,
Those should be breakaway pants.
Mask.
the UPS man brought in a pistol suppressed. Classy.
I like that. Hey, we're going to put you in the hot seat. Come take my seat. Ask Mike and Jim anything you want.
That's going to be very politically correct.
Wasn't really expecting this today, but how's it going, guys?
It's going good. How's your
What's underneath your jacket?
how are your deliveries?
Unzip that.
A UPS shirt.
Okay, now your pants.
UPS.
We're
pants.
hijacking his momentum.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost here. I wasn't really expecting to be on a podcast, but I just had a little package for you. I was kind of curious how you purchased one of those things at the end of that gun, and
Super
couple questions
simple.
about that.
Form 4.
It was
Find
not
an
that
NFA
small
dealer.
of a package. That was a medium-sized package.
Yeah, no,
Don't
that's-
tell
you-
yourself that.
You did good.
I was
Maybe even slightly big package.
It's the old standard NFA dealer, like, say in Salt Lake, maybe, for example, Gallinson, something like that. Go in there, fingerprint, some pictures, send in $200, boom.
But you just bought it online. It just came in the mail. That's
Well,
how it works, right?
We actually have a fancy FFL that we can do
What?
that with.
I thought
it's
you
true.
can
Just
buy
like
guns
you.
and suppressors and machine guns. You just order it on eBay and it shows up to
That's
whoever.
what they'd like you to think.
I'm just a UPS guy. I wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah. Do you want to feel it?
Feel what?
The gun, of course.
A simple UPS guy.
Let's do it.
All right. This is the dangerous end, so be easy with that end.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
He knows his way around the bolt.
He's a chamber checker.
Yeah. He's working the...
Interesting.
Is the main part of the silencer called the shaft, or what is that called?
I believe you call that the tube.
The tube. He's working the tube.
The tube shaft. I like it. Well, thanks for having me on your podcast, guys.
No, thanks for taking the time out of your day. I hope you
was a
don't get
good
in
time.
trouble for that.
I'll leave this one to Rich.
You don't want to rip a few rounds out in the parking lot? Mike's cool with that. I do it all the time.
Let's do it.
Maybe later after.
Oh, easy.
What? It's suppressed. It's a 22. It doesn't even count.
All right, we're gonna need to make this.
Well, we have to stay within the confines of the law.
Let's act.
You're
Let's
in
ask
Camas.
the
I didn't think there
audience-
was laws out here.
Let's ask the audience if they want to have a little UPS interjection every now and then, because that was pretty awesome.
Our UPS guy,
I thought the
kinda
package
like
was going to
him.
be different.
I expected more packing.
Yeah, come on, man.
Sorry. Well, we're gonna have to take that up with UPS.
Yeah.
Turn that up. a
Proper
notch.
packing, I think, is important.
It is.
That was awesome.
Keeping damage from happening to your
There was no dick confetti or nothing.
items.
Hopefully, he doesn't get in trouble.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
You think anyone from UPS that is on a power trip watches our podcast?
If one of
This
our
seems very
six,
specific.
Yeah.
if one of our 6 listeners works at UPS, please don't say anything.
6 listeners.
I thought it was up.
Or 7.
I think we're probably around the 10 range now.
Boom.
Wow.
We're making gains.
I'm going to watch it too after this.
Good. You should. You should watch your episode and how many beeps we
I'm
have
going
to
to like
add.
the shit out of it. The stuff out of it. Oh.
Thumbs up.
You're in good company. We've got a good crowd of people. In reference to the last episode 2 that we just posted, someone said that our podcast is better than Joe Rogan's. I don't know about that. But
No, they couldn't have meant that.
Was that you?
no, it wasn't me. It sounds like something I'd do.
My ghost account is replying to my real account. You're better than Joe Rogan.
Touche. It wasn't me though.
I haven't listened to him in a while since he jumped over to Spotify.
Yeah,
I
me
still listen to
either.
him all the time, but it just seems like it's too much work now.
I go do the 10-minute clips on interesting people like Elon Musk. The title was like asking him about his belief in aliens or colonizing Mars or something. It was like a 10-minute clip.
The
was
cadence,
interesting.
the cadence he speaks with is very interesting.
Which one, Joe or Elon?
Elon, because you ask him something, then you think your fucking stereo broke, and 'cause there's a break,
Yeah.
and he's very deliberate on what he says.
He's very, he
Yeah.
thinks
Yeah.
about what he's going to say.
Yeah,
Smart guy, right?
Yeah.
and if you're just like, I know how much I can think in that amount of time. Imagine how much he can think of in that amount of time.
You know, he's probably thought of a million things to say and then it's like, nope, not saying that, not saying that.
He was like burning weed with
With
Rogan,
Yeah.
which didn't see that coming. But
No.
I guess it's
Like
California.
they get high on their podcast.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
drunk, high, everything.
Smoke really fancy cigars.
I would watch more podcasts, but I have and
real
I didn't
job?
think it was that old. Well, that too, but a cassette deck.
What?
And it in my car.
Oh.
It doesn't-
Bonnie?
Yeah, it doesn't have like the CD player. It doesn't do that thing where it interfaces with your phone. What do you call that? Yellow tooth or whatever?
Come on, Mike.
It doesn't have that. So
Yellow tooth.
therefore, it's super hard to hear out of my little speaker while I'm driving down the road.
I'm gonna get you one of those things where you slide the fucking tape in. It has a wire
Yes.
that comes out that goes to your.
I had one of those.
In high school.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
No,
that
I
was
did.
junior high.
And
How old are you?
The 35.
Yeah.
So it had the CD player connected to it, so I could play my CDs.
Yeah.
Well, I've had one of those in that car. It's been years ago, but the wires, like, it didn't sound very good, and the wire kept breaking, and I think they probably quit making those about 10 or 12 years ago. I haven't seen one at a truck
Should've
stop
been
or anything.
You want to hear something really lame?
You have one.
No, I was actually thinking of getting one for my Toyota pickup, my little beater.
Does it have a cassette deck?
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, check this out. You can also get a stereo.
Yeah, I could go and install one.
Probably about the same price.
But how cool would it be if I got one and someone came in for a little ride in the old pick-em-up truck and was like, really?
There's a thing you can tune the radio to a station to, right?
Yeah.
But my, like, LCD display, it doesn't really work. So you have to listen to a radio station long enough for them to announce the station so you know where you are again. It's rough, dude.
I think an Earth Muffin owned my truck before because all I get's NPR.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of radio listening now.
You're probably right.
Someone's probably going to say, like, I got a very Predator vibe before I got in this truck, but now that I see that, it's confirmed.
For me?
Yeah.
Dang it.
Don't take the interior.
Glad we're on the same page.
Don't take the passenger side interior door handle out of that truck.
Oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
Seriously?
you have to climb in through the front. That's purposeful.
It's got curtains. A lot of trucks have curtains these days.
Yeah. So,
We need to think about getting you an upgraded vehicle.
no, I'm going to go the Bonnie route for a while with it.
Fair enough. Get your money's worth.
You know, honestly, you impacted me a great deal with what he referred to as my mommy truck, which I didn't think that would ever become a name for it. Originally, my previous truck is what I'm referring to. I named him Kanye. He's my only son. Lifted, turbo diesel, GMC. I mean, it had all the good bells and whistles for it. Good off-roading package, tow package. I mean, it was a great truck, my baby. And then Mike cut me down a few
No, I
notches.
did not cut you down.
Well,
I just see a lot of soccer moms drive trucks like that. That's all.
I wasn't doing anything with it. So you were right. I wasn't towing anything with it at the time. And so I was like, why am I spending all this money on fuel for no reason? It was a mommy truck. So for those of you guys, sorry, it is a mommy truck. I'm going to have to agree with Mike. If you're just rolling around in a big lifted truck like that with no purpose ever, beauty bark, I guess you can kind of justify a little bit. But for the most part, I just made the economic decision to sell it. Bought a Harley and a little beat up truck.
Well, you've got to go with what you like.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, but
It's all about, being practical.
agreed.
How about this fucking thing?
Yeah, it's true.
Look, it's not like you've got to go with what you like.
Yep.
Everything doesn't have to be
I see what Jim's doing here,
but
and I like it.
I don't know. That's come in handy a couple times.
It
Little
has.
shoot at live action.
It has. It has. I'm not saying you shouldn't have that. I'm just saying maybe he should have his stupid truck too.
Yeah.
No, I'm not against him having it either. I didn't mean it like I wasn't trying to tell you to get rid of it.
Yeah, here's like the thing you gotta always remember. We're all gonna be dead soon.
It's true. Can't
So
take it
you
with
may as
you.
well have the truck you want.
That's true.
As long as you're not like, I don't know. I was gonna make a comment, but I'll tone it down.
I think I know where
PG.
you're going to go.
Yeah. As long as you can afford the truck and you're
Yeah.
not buying gas money with your body.
Yeah. Well, I'm already.
Touche.
So I
20
did
20
balance
bucks
it
is
out.
20 bucks.
I got my Harley, which I think I talked about before. That made me feel better. Mike hates it, but which one do you hate more, the truck or the Harley?
Well, look, I don't hate the Harley, but I hate the noise it makes. I don't know if you've ever tried to talk on the phone while you've driven it, but
You ride a Harley.
there's innocent people that are trying to talk on the phone while you're out in the parking lot, revving it up and warming it up and making it super loud.
Yeah.
I don't like that
40
about
yet.
it.
You're supposed to do that when you're 40.
I know. I'm not compensating yet for age. I'm just doing it a little early. I'm an early bloomer.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like right now you're kind of like Maury or some reality TV, like, You're working things out between Pappas and I.
Oh yeah, I got you guys.
Like a counselor?
I'm a therapist.
Excuse me, therapist.
Yeah, try and mini bike me.
That's right.
Jim, maybe we go into a little bit of experience with suppressors, whether it was overseas or just through Tac Gas or,
I mean, I don't.
drop some
Mike
knowledge on
probably
us.
knows more about suppressors than I do, obviously.
Did you use them in the military at all?
We had them. I got out in 05. The suppressors we had, Surefires were just barely getting fielded, and then we had the old Knights ones. Like
Gotcha.
the one with all the dots on it that was horrible. It weighed like 400 pounds and was louder than if you didn't have it. And
That's still a cool can, though. I like a girdled knife.
I've shot that thing until it was like bright red. And
That's the forbidden popsicle.
you could bludgeon someone to death with that.
Yeah.
But they're bulletproof.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I think that's a iconic suppressor. That's Americana right there.
Yeah, that was like the part of the OG SOCOM package, which was when the M4, the Knights Rail, and all
Sure.
that. Yeah.
And then the 110 came out with its big giant reflex can.
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff.
So did you actually use those in combat situations or no?
No, we had them in inventory, but nobody used them. Like every once in a while, we'd be doing a hit and like training hits, and sometimes like whoever was like point man moving up to the breach site would have a suppressor on. But maybe that would be more quiet if you had to zip up a sentry or something. But
I got one for you.
pretty much useless.
Because we're going to have Rudy on in a couple episodes. Maybe talk a little bit about your experience with serving with Rudy. Maybe? Yeah? No?
I didn't know him that well. I was about leaving Recon Battalion when he got there. He was at Recon Battalion the whole time. I ended up I got there a little bit before him, and then I went to Force, and I think he finished up at Recon Battalion.
Gotcha.
So we never were in the same platoon, but I think we did. I can't remember what the course was, but we did some small course together. But other than that, yeah.
When did you join?
97.
Oh, so before the war.
Yeah. 97 to 05. I got out in 05, and then I got out in November of 05, and by December I was in Basra as a contractor.
Wow.
Did that for a couple of years with Triple Canopy, like state stuff in Basra and Baghdad, and then came back to California for a while and worked a commercial dive gig and was kind of going to school, and then
That's pretty cool.
Ended up going back over with the whole GRS program. Did that from 2009 to 2012, and then moved out here in 2013.
So you were like in the jungle camo
Jungle camo.
or the old school camo.
No.
We started off
before
with
the
woodland.
multicam.
Yeah, we had woodlands.
Woodlands, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I never had multicam. But,
That's like OG.
yeah.
Wow,
guess it's all
Woodland.
relative.
I didn't expect that.
What? That I was in woodlands?
Being Woodland camo.
Yeah. Well, we got digitals, I don't know, about 2-3 years after I got in.
Nice.
Yeah, it was somewhere around 2000.
My favorite camo is the kind that they don't use anymore, that they're surplusing out.
That's everyone's favorite. It's like whatever's issued isn't cool anymore. That's
I
why
think
everyone
it's
hates
pretty
multicam.
trendy right now.
Super high quality, coats and whatnot at very reasonable prices. I like that.
Like your pizza versus caviar.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to sell you this $1,000 coat for $85. It's brand new. Sure. I'm into that.
Mike likes a good deal.
Everyone does. Especially when it comes to clothing.
I wear the hell out of my clothes. Like these pants, you wouldn't know this, but there's literally a hole in the crack. And it just somehow stays together. So I still wear them.
One more time. That's all I need. One more day. If
seriously.
you make it to tonight, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
I'm the
there's.
same way.
I think there's a weird psychology to like how much things cost and like what we were talking about.
Sure.
And then B, to feeling like you got a deal.
Yeah.
I think my mother kind of instilled that in by making you finish everything on your plate, even though you were full. So
Yeah,
I think
like
you
if
kind
you-
of carry
like-
that over
like-
sometimes.
Yeah, like if you don't eat it, like it's somehow going to go somewhere, or if it goes in you and you don't need any more calories somehow,
That's better.
it's more healthy for you.
Yeah.
Or it's saving a kid in Africa.
That's why I put on holy pants.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, you guys at Tac Gas, like you guys eat good. At least the last party we had with you when we were doing the Mad Max shoot, the steak,
Quality food, well thought out.
burrito night. Oh, that was so good. It wasn't just like burritos. It was like you guys had jumbo shrimp.
Yeah, that's me because I'm a fat kid.
It was phenomenal.
I get mad if food's not right.
Well, we were thankful for that.
Yes.
Out in the middle of nowhere with no nutrition to be found.
I feel like if you're going to squeeze the soul out of people on a shoot for 14 hours a day, like at least you can feed them properly.
It definitely helped, and you did squeeze the soul out of people. I
have
I
to.
had the privilege of freezing my nipples off.
Yeah, that was a.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. I mean, when a guy lays on a concrete floor for a half hour and it's
20 degrees.
inside the building,
I
that's
think
got
the
a way
only
of
thing
cooling
keeping
you
you
off.
warm was some of the. No, what was that?
No, yeah, you're right, though. You'll have to watch
It's
the
just
video.
some of the props.
Yeah.
When's
Yeah.
that video going to come out?
Which one?
The one that Rich froze on.
Oh, I got
Isn't it like a mini series you guys are working on, or are you allowed to talk about that?
the Thunderdome stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can talk about it. It's a lot of it's content that's coming out for Black Rifle Coffee.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we got some of them. I could show you one when we get out of here.
Ooh,
There's
yeah.
Some of it's going to be dropping for that 300 milligram stuff that they just released.
Did
It turned
they
out really good.
Did they enjoy seeing me get hit?
They
Everyone
didn't
did.
specifically comment on that.
No,
but
yeah. Dang
yeah.
it. I feel like I actually watching that, I was like, I could have totally taken that a little bit harder.
If I had a penny for every time you told me that, I'd be rich. Right?
You'd have, how much you think?
I
you'd
know
have?
my wife's not going to hear this episode.
10
so.
cents?
Why would she care? She doesn't know about your other life.
No, the internet
You're
doesn't
leaving
know
all
until now too.
You're leaving all that behind. No pun intended.
What happens in the Tac Gas set stays in the Tac Gas set.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes, as it were.
Way behind. Way behind.
When did you guys start using? I mean, the drone footage. That guy, what's his name?
We had a couple of guys. Our main guy's this guy Paul.
Okay,
But Jordan, I think it is.
Yeah,
his buddy
Jordan.
that came out and he shot a couple things for us too.
incredible what they can do,
Yeah.
Super talented.
and it adds so much to like the cinematography of it. Like just some of the clips that you guys have shared through your stories. It's like whoa.
Yeah, it can be a time suck, and but it's cool, and it's those guys are expensive, but they're worth every penny.
2021. You guys getting weird this year? What do you got? Anything exciting you can talk about?
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff. We're shooting a bunch more stuff for Call of Duty. I was just out in LA shooting a big project that I can't give details on,
Sure.
but it'll be coming out in the next couple months. It has some celebrities involved and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Ooh, it's
Yeah,
exciting.
it should be cool. Different deal for us. We haven't really dealt with all the SAG Hollywood stuff too much, other than this TV show we did up in Canada. But yeah, that's gonna be cool. We're gonna be doing another Thunderdome at some point, in conjunction with a video that we're shooting for Five Finger Death Punch. which will
Oh,
be
that's
super sick.
awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna rebuild that Thunderdome that you guys
No,
built?
we're working on bringing out a steel one.
Oh, that's
The
smart.
one that they we're trying to buy the one that they have they use for Burning Man.
Okay, what?
Yeah,
You'll have that in inventory.
of course.
You'll be like, hey, you want me to
If
throw up
SHOT
my
Show ever
Thunderdome?
goes again,
Yeah,
the plan is to do a Mad Max theme party and like bring a bunch of clients in to kind of subsidize it and build a Thunderdome SHOT Show party.
Mike and I
Like
invited.
off scene.
If Mike is gonna look like Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever he was during Thunderdome, a creepy shaman or whatever.
I was
the monk.
I was an extra in the background in a brown robe.
No pants.
No pants.
Look for me. I'm kind of in the shadows there.
Yeah. Super creepy.
My shoulders definitely built up some mass after holding that 30-pound sword, or at least it felt like it. That sword was heavy, and just doing this for hours.
I loved it when what were you going to do with it? And I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And you're like, no, I could do it. And you swung the sword once, you're like, yeah, that's not happening.
No, it was good. It was Conan's sword. It was huge. And you wanted me to try to see if I could slice the bag in half.
Yeah, bag of coffee.
And I was like, I totally got this. And I just was
Your
like,
bat
"Bleh."
speed was like not happening.
No, it would have. I would have either lost the sword and it would have hit
I
someone.
would have murdered someone. And I would have been like, Mike, his family's going to need a check.
I'd have just made sure to take the remains back to Utah.
You're like, that dude doesn't work for me. Well, he wouldn't have been dead. It would have been Hannah or somebody.
Yeah, someone
Just
important.
lopped in half, and it would have been like some Final Destination.
Oh, well, if Rich would have been okay, no problem.
Thank you, Mike.
I work for Dead Air, and I am doing my official duties.
Yeah.
They would have been driving your BMP home, going, "This is my BMP."
Yeah, those weren't swords that you get at like the gas station. You know, those gas station specials. Like they were sharp.
So, do you know, if you had to guess, maybe you already know.
David's.
It's David's swords. I was like, I forget, Russ or somebody's like, yeah, I think we got a bunch of those swords. And I was like, yeah, they're David's swords, aren't they?
Yes.
There's only one employee that's got a sword collection.
He was. I could tell he really loved those swords because obviously we needed to be nice
Careful with
to them. Yeah, and
My man Ray, I had to like put him on Firewatch or put him on.
she was dragging it around.
Dragging it, like swinging it around at Chow. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
like stop swinging the sword in the crowded room.
He did look good with that sword.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. But I showed him too. I went up to David. I said, hey, I just want you to know how much I respected your sword. You see this boot? It's a $300 logging boot. Yeah. And then instead of putting it on the floor, I dug it into the leather of my boot, and there was little marks into it. And I said, I took care of your sword. And he goes, thank you.
But a logging boot should have some nicks in it, right?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like your truck with no dirt on it. Like you don't want a logging boot. It looks like it's like
yes.
Louis Vuitton or something.
Yeah.
No, it's good to get the use out of it.
Yeah. I mean, they do have miles. I have used them. Actually, I wore them when we went logging.
We cut some wood in those
You guys
boots.
went logging? Did you wear that shirt?
No, I wore a different flannel.
Yeah.
I have a lot of flannels.
Dude, I don't even know if you can start a chainsaw without a fucking flannel.
No. Or a still hat.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't even notice
This
that.
is retro.
We've
Guys,
had this conversation, still
Rich.
versus husky.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
Now our audience knows it's a real thing because this is the second episode in a row where we've talked about.
Chainsaws.
Why do we talk about it so much?
I want to like stills more. They just don't look as cool.
It's true they don't.
Yeah. But isn't it something to do with like the air filter or something? Is better? Or
This
like
podcast is over.
You're a still guy, is what you're telling me? We've had
Dude.
this conversation before.
You know I'm a steel guy.
Yeah.
You can clean the air filter.
Yeah. But isn't one better than the other?
Yes.
And it's a still.
Yes.
Yeah. That's like the thing, right? That's like the main thing.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're serious.
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
No, I've been down the rabbit hole before. It's been a few years, and I don't really remember. But I remember that was like the main thing that people were saying was like, this one gets clogged up easier. And
Yeah,
it's
no,
good at
people
airflow.
do say that about that, but I've never actually had that happen.
This is you'll even notice in the tag. I found this on eBay years ago before I met Mike because I love steel as well. That's why we're also lovers. Straight out of the 80s, Cobra.
You even got the little braided line across. I like that.
So I had to wear it today in honor to just prove to the audience as well as Mike that I wasn't bullshitting. I was going to wear the suspenders, but I decided to opt out. So
I'm going to get my Husqvarna hat out.
you don't have one.
No, I don't. I don't wear hats.
I actually asked Mike if I could buy him one, and he said no because he doesn't wear hats. It made me a little sad, but they still are available on eBay.
Sorry, I'd never wear it.
No.
Somebody else will buy Grandpa's hat.
Grandpa took care of this.
Yeah, he did. That's a nice hat.
He kept the cardboard in it and everything.
Wow. So it's like brand new.
Pretty much. Yeah. It didn't
Never been
stink or
sweat
anything.
in or anything.
It's not like mothballs or like Grandpa's attic, that familiar smell.
Classy.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is going to happen with all the gun control fear?
I'm going to defer to Mike on that.
Well,
what do you think?
I wish I knew, and I have no idea, but I can tell you something's going to happen. Like,
Profound.
they're not going to leave it alone.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I'm thinking
Think they're going to get something through that matters?
that they'll stop importation of everything, firearms and ammunition and firearm parts. That's my guess. I don't know that, and I only say that because I think that's a really easy thing to do, like an easy win for them. And then I think they're going to go to work on their assault rifle, as it were, banning kind of Bill Clinton-ish style, I would guess. I don't know. I wish I knew.
I don't know either. On one hand, they've been talking about it forever and haven't really done anything since the 90s. But I don't know. I kind of feel like they just got a lot of wins.
Yeah.
They probably don't want to fuck that up.
Well, they seem a little bit more aggressive and, as it were, committed to the mission. That's the feeling I get. I don't think Obama was ever really committed to attack the assault rifle. Everyone thought he would, but he really didn't.
And, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but I think I remember that Obama actually, like, the only thing he did kind of gun-related
Bump stock?
Well,
Oh, no, that was Trump.
No, I mean, the whole, like, that you can carry in national parks, like, actually opened up more shit. And I'm not an Obama
Yeah, you're
fan,
right.
but
That
I don't think, like, he really did anything restrictive.
I can't think of anything offhand.
I mean, he did it with his mouth, but people can talk all they want.
There was a little threatening there, but they didn't have much of a bite to back up that bark. But I think these other people do.
Well, now that they got a lot more control, it'd be interesting to see. I don't know. I think in a perfect world, I'm not super involved in. I mean, I guess we got a few gun clients, but it seems like a lot of talk and a little action is good for anybody
that's
that
what we're all
sells guns
hoping.
or ammo.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's obviously the hope.
That's best case scenario for us.
Yeah.
Is that nothing really happens. Maybe they have a secret way of restricting 9mm ammo.
Yeah, that's a weird one. And ball is like more sought after than defense ammo.
Yeah, how's that even possible?
Yeah, I want to tell people, like, you can shoot the defense ammo at targets too. It goes right fucking through paper, no problem.
It actually leaves a much cleaner hole in paper.
And it actually makes a good noise on steel.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's not as dirty. Not that I ever
clean.
clean a gun anyways, but if I did,
It's the higher quality.
yeah. How much do you shoot these days, Mike?
I do some shooting for work, and generally speaking, in the wintertime, I shoot very little personally. Mm-hmm. In the spring or summer through the fall, I'll do it a little bit here and there. I'm working up a 300 Win Mag load and another 5.56 load right now. So I'm looking forward to a nice day. I'm a fair weather shooter.
Yeah.
If it's snowy, windy, too hot, too cold,
Sunny, cloudy, rainy.
it's got to be fairly somewhat comfortable.
Or unless I force you.
Like
Somewhere
we went
between 62 and 62.5 degrees.
Was that about 2 years ago that we went out on the desert and shot?
I hope not, but it seems like
I think
maybe
it was.
Yeah, that's sad.
Well, a horrible cold front came through, and my fingers froze, and I was like, "See you guys later." But it was, I don't know, 30 degrees when we started out. It wasn't too bad.
We're doing a fun shoot that you could come out to if you want, and you have to rip the gal. I'm gonna have the gal out.
I want to come out. Can I bring a belt of ammo?
Bring 5. My ammo can will hold 500 rounds.
Your ammo can.
Can I carry the ammo?
Let me think about that.
It's like about 24 seconds of ammo. 500 rounds of 50. Oh. That thing is fun, dude.
That's a high cyclic rate.
Well,
That's hard on a guy's wallet.
It is hard on a wallet. Yeah.
I think I'd be good for a belt, and I think that'd be pretty stand up in this given climate.
100, like you saw when we were out there, that was 100, and it went like instantly.
Oh, that
burp,
was
burp, burp, done.
that was an entire belt that you shot?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think with both runs was like 150 rounds.
That's crazy. I never would have guessed that.
It's like 1,200 rounds a minute.
We need an M2, 600 rounds a minute.
I got one on order.
Are you serious?
Like one of the Modus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a
FN?
yeah, an FN with that new barrel that they have.
Oh, the quick change?
Well, it's a quick change, but they have like there's two different barrels. One's like the Sterlite or whatever it's called.
Oh, Stellite?
Stellite, yeah, that's it.
Nice. That's a nice barrel.
Yeah.
That's what our baffles are made out of on our Sandmans.
Yes, it is. That's kind of where we got the idea.
Alien
way back
technology.
when.
It is alien technology.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
Mike
I liked
contacted
the name.
him through his radio frequencies and was like, "Hey, what should we make our next can out of?" And they were like, "Starlight."
That's not true. Don't tell
Can
people that.
Can we talk about that?
No, we can't talk about that. Everyone will get a radio and be calling the aliens, and then what good will I be?
So how involved with the design of your suppressors are you?
I'm think of me as more of a mechanical, we have two engineers, and they're super smart, and they pretty much take over all the stuff that I don't know or care about.
So conception comes from you, and then
A lot of
they
times,
kind of
some of
take it
it
the rest of the way.
Yeah, agreed. Well,
So-
they talk about, I'm not really into weld joint, tech, and it doesn't interest me, but I know what I want, right? So think of me as more of a mechanic rather than the engineer of it.
And he also knows
Okay.
what boys want too. So
Yeah,
he
of
takes
course.
those two, combines them, and realizes, okay, this is the perfect next can.
He's always known what boys want.
Yeah.
That's like the genesis of our relationship.
It's been handy in my life more than once.
Very handy. Sometimes too. But so in terms of, hey, here's the new product we're coming out with, does that always come from you or sometimes from
I
someone
think
else?
it's a team effort, but there's a lot of input from all of us. Todd McGee, Mike Smith, Eric Rogers, sales guys, myself. It's a team effort for sure.
So what are the components that go into, hey, we have this new opportunity, like we need something for this firearm that has this type of, round, this length of barrel, and, this type of ammo? Like, how does that work?
We start with basically a whiteboard per se, and list all
It's a
of the
chalkboard,
things.
probably, Mike. Let's be honest.
It would be chalk, but chalk is ever harder to find.
Yeah,
We use dry erase now. That way we have different colors. It's
I like wet erase. So I always touch it and then smear it. Anyways,
getting it all over your clothes and everything. We put a list of everything that we want it to do, weight to fall into, length, sound, mounting. Like you say, host firearms are certainly taken into account there, as well as rate of fire and other cartridges that we are going to try to put into the design that we're going to test and run through there to see how it all shakes out at the end. So I'd say that's the starting, and then it gets narrowed down and it changes a little bit along the way, but it basically will fill most of those needs when we're done, or you keep at it.
Mike, would you say a good part of that process, at least the beginning phase, would be keeping our finger on the pulse of what the silencer community is looking for too?
Well, you have to there's a little bit of a blend of both. I would say we knew that the Wolverine would not be like a top selling can, but it certainly fills a niche and has a following, and still my favorite can that we make to this day. But sometimes you've got to do a little outside the box, and you can't let your business be all about money, top selling, how do we make the most money? Sometimes you've got to throw a little passion in there and be like, oh, this might not,
Gloria Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might not make on the spreadsheet at the end of the year, this might not be too wowing, but in general, I believe it's like marketing. It lifts the entire company.
No,
you
think you're
solve
right.
a problem for certain people. And I think some larger bore, certain kinds of cans, when they get more specific, certainly fall into that mix. You still need to make them.
I think that speaks to where and why Dead Air is where it is today, because of that passion that has been driven into, the entire process of development in a single can in our lineup, because, there's the quality aspect of it. And then obviously your role, Mike, like understanding what you want the can to do and certain things that it shouldn't do, or,
Sure. Well, you've got that's a tough question to answer. There's just so many factors that go into really truly deciding which product that you're going to manufacture next.
What percentage of your business is IP of your attachment? Seems like I've seen a few of those, like other people using your attachment.
We have, over time, more and more, we do more and more muzzle device business, licensing other manufacturers, making variants from the attaching IP part forward, like Sons of Liberty or Forward Control Designs or Justin J. Mac. Different. I hope I'm not forgetting too many people. I'm sorry if I am. I'm just kind of shooting off the cuff. But that has helped us greatly. And also being the chemo mount that goes into 1 3/8 threads has also kind of pushed that mount along a little bit. But I think a lot of our initial success was certainly due to chemo mount on the Sandman. That really gave us a leg up.
Yeah, I know that's kind of. I obviously get a lot of people that say, "Hey, what suppressor?" First of all, I don't hardly shoot anymore, so I'm like we shoot some of the stuff, but I'm not really the guy anymore. But one of the things I would tell people is, you got price, obviously, you got weight, you got reduction, sound reduction, and then you got attachment method, or some of the key variables, and everybody's got different things. Like I like some of the Thunder Beast guys. I know those guys are pretty cool, and they make a light can that's pretty quiet, but they screw on, and they're not. I haven't had super good success with them on semi-autos and stuff like that. And then I know you came from Silencer Co., and you kind of helped stand that whole thing up. I mean, you were one of the original guys, right?
Yeah, correct.
And that's how we met initially. And some people like their products. I haven't had the best experience with some of the stuff in terms of durability. And I kind of thought that what I've told people is Dead Air is like the kind of middle. It's awesome on the attachment. It's a little heavier than some of the other ones, but it's super durable, like a Surefire, but has greater sound reduction than the Surefire and stuff like that. And then, like we talked about, the making your gun dirty and getting a lot of back pressure too. It's it's pretty good for that too.
Man, back pressure, that's a toughie, right?
Can be.
You
You've
don't
always
have
been
any
a gentleman though.
Yeah, thank you. You don't have any, and it gets loud, and you have a little bit and a little bit too much, and it's port poppy, and your firearm's dirty, and
your eyes are watering.
Yeah, that's a tough blend there.
Yeah, because and if you're just making the can and you don't know what it's going to go on, what ammo, what barrel length, all the different variables you can't control, it's probably pretty challenging. Because if you said, "Hey, I just need something for that Galil right there," it'd be really easy to like fine tune the Ferrari. And we're only shooting this round. You could make it super quiet. All the specs are super tight, but then you change your dwell time. You put it a different type of ammo, whatever, and then all of a sudden, it's more finicky. So I'd imagine that's a toughie.
McGee and I fired a truckload of ammo on Sandman development when we first started playing with all that, trying to get the right blend of back pressure and port noise and sound reduction, and like you say, that's the
Move this and
that's
now
the
this doesn't
toughie.
work. Yeah.
You can't just put washers in a tube.
Yeah, some people do. If I got a garage and
And some
a
washers.
suppressor maker.
Have you seen our new mount, the Xeno?
Oh,
I'll have to show you that. It's a little chubby guy. So it's
It's
specifically
a,
designed for our Nomad series.
It's a threaded taper, 1 3/8, kind of industry standard on the can side, and then it's very Thunder Beast-esque, like you say. It's muzzle brake or flash hider seating on a taper with some large threads. Mm-hmm. It's super lightweight, super easy.
By no means is it to replace anything. It's just more for, because we get that question a lot.
It's an option.
It's just an option, yeah. And then there's an option for the customer that comes over. Maybe they want the Nomad to use with it, or maybe they just want the mount because it works on other cans that aren't dead air.
Well, you need a lightweight option as well. We started out in the market with focusing on strength and durability. And then as we've grown a little bit, we were able to add the Nomad line, which is 17.4, and then a titanium variant of that to kind of try to help your
One of my favorite cans.
long hiker out.
do you have a can that work on an MP7?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which one?
yeah.
Which one's the right one?
Wolfman?
I would think if it were me, Sandman K. Good volume, super tough, like that can right there.
So here's a question I don't know the answer to, and I've always wondered is how important is it if my suppressor's over diameter? Like if I've got a 30 cal can and I'm using it on a 5.56, how much am I losing in sound reduction?
You get a little variance in there. Now, I think I wouldn't say that you lose. Let's say a 30 cal can on 5.56 is probably going to be quieter at the port and louder at the muzzle. And when you put a 5.56 can on, it's probably going to go up a little bit at the port and come down a little at the muzzle. So sometimes a 30 cal can, depending on your situation, may be the correct choice for 5.56. But you cannot span that too far. In other words, once you put 5.56 in a 45 or 50 cal through board can, you're probably not getting the most efficient bang for your buck, as it were.
But like when you're going from a 30 cal can to a 6.5 can, it's kind of
We've talked about making 6.5 through bore cans, but they would be so specific use for a lot of people, and you just don't get much of a difference in sound quality 6.5 to 30, although we do make a 6.5 end cap. So you can tune it a little bit.
I've ran a 5.56 can on my 6 mil.
You can do that.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Until it is.
Most 5.56 cans will allow 6 to pass through, but I would make certain to do a rod test on that and make sure that it's lined up nice.
I just close my eyes and hope for the best. Just like everything else in my life.
It's got a warranty. I'm all in. Get the trigger pulled.
So I need, have you ever thought about doing any of like short, stubby, high volume cans, kind of like the
Delta P
style?
A little bit, but that's kind of a Delta P has really focused on that, and I think they do a great job on the super short, fat cans. Maybe. I can't say that we have really worked in that direction, but I'm not saying we never would, but as it sits right now, no.
Do you think that volume like matters that much?
Well,
Like
I
it's
think
super short. Like some of those are like 3-4 inches.
Yeah, which is awesome. But I think you get, you're always going to fight the flame propagation through there. And on, like first round pop, it's easier to push actual materials combusting through something so short. If you took that same volume, made it skinnier and longer, you're going to extinguish the flame better. So it's a different take, and I don't know how to explain. If that's super important to a customer, I want them to get one of those.
Yeah, and length. Yeah.
Correct. If that's like a very constrictive thing and you just can't do anything about it, you should probably look at a super fat short can.
Yeah. So for MP7 and my Trilug MPX, what do I need? A Wolfman and a Sandman K?
A Wolfman would probably actually be pretty good if you wanted to use it on the MP7 as well. But I think I'd do K. Do you know offhand what the MP7's threaded?
I don't.
Maybe 15 mil. I don't know. They're so expensive. I've never really had one.
Nobody's got them.
As a sample gun, but cool people that have had one have let me touch it, but I haven't really gotten to do very much with it.
So
How do you get ammo?
Ammo's easy.
Ammo's easy.
Yeah. It didn't used to be, which is why all the PDs dumped them, which is how people were getting post samples, because the post samples, you can't get them from HK. They won't do post samples.
So someone makes a receiver and you put a parts kit back together?
Nope. The
Straight
LE
from
departments
LE?
can sell them directly to you if you have a law letter.
Gotcha.
And then once the dealers have them, obviously, if they're relinquishing their FFL, then they can sell them. But like a no letter dealer, like if you're
closed down,
if you're closed down, you don't need a law letter. Those ones are going for, before all the craziness, we're going for north of 30 grand.
Damn, that's crazy.
The law letter ones, the one that we got was like 14.5.
Wow.
Which is crazy for a gun that they were selling for like $1 to just get rid of them.
That explains why I have very little experience with them.
Yeah. It's weird. Like some post samples are super easy to get, and like a no letter 240, get those for 8-9 grand.
But there must be 10 240s to an MP7 out there, right?
Probably 100. I
100.
don't know. A lot. A lot.
Let's say it's a lot more common.
Yeah, there's I think that's one of the more rare ones. I'm kind of curious what I could get for that gal if I launched it and posted it. I've never seen one.
Mike loves a good post sample machine gun.
Man, someone else is gonna get it eventually, because eventually you're not gonna be part of that company, and then you're not gonna have your shit.
You know, I do love a good post sample machine gun, but what I don't love is a post sample machine gun pretending like it's a tranny gun. That bothers me.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
We've
like an MP7 that's 30 grand. Like, come on, bro.
Well, dude, if it was a tranny gun, but you'd say this one's transferable. You know, you put it out there correctly. You're not trying to dress it in sheep's clothing.
Oh, you mean when people say like, "Oh man, I got an MP5," and you're like, "Yeah, a transferable's 30 to 40 grand, and you got yours for $6, sir. Don't try and big dick me."
You just filed a Form 2 on it and
it's
filed out a box and put it in there, and it's got the numbers. And
I don't do that.
I get it.
I think I got a couple rewelds, but they're all like World War II level stuff. Like I got a Type 96.
Nice. Is it in 7.7?
7.7?
Jap?
No, it's 6.5 Jap.
6.5.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did I know the magazine's worth more than the gun. It came with one magazine. I got the gun for like $3,500. The magazines that I have found that are in stock are $10,000 for one fucking magazine.
Why?
Wow.
They're impossible to get. Impossible.
Well,
Wow.
I was at the Sportsman's Warehouse over in Heber the other day. I noticed they had things like 6.5 Jap on the shelf.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
I
the
need to
weird
get some
stuff.
ammo. I want to shoot it.
I'm trying to think. What do you guys know of a mag that is more expensive than that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. When we were out at nights, we were doing a shoot, and I forget what gun it was. It was another gun similar to that. Was it Type 99? I don't know. But it was a really rare magazine. It's like priceless. the number they threw on the magazine was $100,000.
No way.
And they didn't tell us. And all of a sudden we can't find it.
Shut
and
up.
I'm like, all right, man. I'm like, if we're here, because we basically go through the museum and we're shopping, we're like, that would be cool. That would be cool. Some of the things are worth $2,000. Some of them are fucking priceless. I'm like, if we pick anything that is in that category, just say no. I don't need that. None of my guys need that.
Yeah.
We're like tromping through the woods out there
So you guys are
with
shopping.
$100,000 magazine and like riding in the truck to get out there. And I'm like, dude, just like I told you earlier, I'm like, don't send a gun out that's like priceless heirloom. Send me something that's like, I don't want you to screw this up, but if you do, like, you can feasibly whip a check for it without selling your house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be able to be replaceable.
So were you guys at this museum?
We found it.
Okay.
We found it. So if you haven't been to Knights, you've probably been there, right?
I've seen a sign, to Titusville.
Yeah.
But
There's
I
no
didn't
reason to
have
go
time.
there.
I've wanted to, but I haven't.
You would love it.
Sometime in my life, I would like to get into
go together.
the Knights.
Let's go together.
All right.
Yeah. You probably know those guys, right?
A couple of them a little bit, but not very much.
Well, explain to the audience, because I'm like the idiot here, not sure what you're talking about. Knight's Armament?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they have, I think, the largest private collection in the country. I mean,
I know
it
is.
I mean, it's like, just their armor. They probably have, I don't know, 40 tanks and shit like that. Like, they got an Abrams there.
Where is it at?
It's an old Trident missile factory.
It's the only Abrams.
400 acres.
What state?
I think in like,
Privately
would you
owned.
call it private? I mean, it's a museum, but
Here in Utah?
I
Or?
guess it is
No,
privately
they're in
owned.
Florida. But I mean, everything. You're talking like Gatling guns, like the original AR-15, like serial number 0001 or whatever, like everything.
Wow. That's cool.
Yes.
I mean, just room after room. It's amazing. Everything from muskets and every gun, like from the dawn of time.
They probably don't let cameras or anything.
No, it's a museum. Like, you can go in there and take pictures. There's certain rooms that
Who
won't
wants
take
to
pictures.
see Mike take a field trip there and we do a vlog episode?
I do.
Yeah, I'll go with you.
Comment below.
Yeah, I'll
We
go
could
with
ask,
you.
Okay.
maybe Trey'd walk us through.
For sure. He walks us through every time we go. Yeah. He's got a guy that he's got a couple guys that are super knowledgeable. They'll
I'll
tell
bet
you
he
all the
does.
stuff. Yeah.
Wow, $100,000 for a mag.
Yeah.
I'd probably ask a few questions if we were there.
I bet you would.
I don't think we'd have big enough memory cards to film all of them.
I think, yeah, your questions would be a lot more technical. Mine's would be like, man, how far that gun shoot? Yeah. How many rounds per minute come out of that there barrel?
That's a solid question.
It's the cyclic or
Yeah.
whatever it's called rate on that.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do better than that.
Yeah, man. Can we shoot this right now out back? He'll let you shoot some of the stuff.
Well, clearly they gave you a $100,000 mag, and then you were like, "I'm gonna take that out."
Whoa. It's also they have like a little small section of the building that they sublet for. It's like a McLaren showroom.
Huh.
So
I like a McLaren.
I just want to drive around Titusville in a McLaren with a $100,000 magazine, hitting some desk pops.
I don't think I've ever even seen a McLaren. Like in,
That's kind of meh.
McLaren F1's pretty sweet.
Look like a go-kart.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wasn't super excited.
I don't know cars.
What? Yes, you do.
I like cars, but I don't know. And people will be like, what engine you got in this car? I don't know. Fast one?
Well, fancy cars. I can repair.
Yeah.
Something common that's around here.
What was that Charger? Was it a Charger you were talking about? You were thinking of getting for your grocery getter, and you just show up. It would be like not street legal or something.
Well, I think they call it a track pack. Something like that. It's like a 7-second quarter-mile car from the factory.
And you'd show up to like car shows and be
What is it?
It's like a Dodge, like full slicks parachute race car you can just buy.
The Demon's like the fastest quarter one they have.
But this isn't street legal. I
Good.
just put license plates on it anyway. and drive it around. I wouldn't care.
I'm trying to think of what that
He's
could
considering this,
But
as
I
the
don't.
next
No, that's
in line
not true.
for
I really,
the Bonnie.
I could never.
be. I have a Dodge. You
Spend
can
that.
drive it.
Oh, that's good enough.
It's 800 horsepower from the factory.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
It's a Hellcat Red Eye.
I'll bet that's super fast, right?
It goes.
Oh yeah.
It's fun. You'd like it.
I actually wouldn't mind taking a little bit of a ride in that.
All right, let's do it.
Next time you park it inside. How many miles are on it? 10? 50?
No, it's not a lot. It's down in Page right now. I got a place down at
gotcha.
Lake Powell. I leave it down there in
Gotcha.
the winter, but it's I don't know, like 1,200 or something. Not a lot.
So it's just barely broke in and ready to.
Yeah,
Party.
I went and they have a course that you can do in Arizona called Bondurant, where you can like
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
take them around the racetrack for
It's
a
fun.
couple days. But
That's
you
cool.
get to use their cars. So if you screw them up, you can be like, I'll be over here. I think it's like, I want to say like $1,000 for the insurance, but it's like an $8,000 deductible, and you just walk away.
Well, you'd have to have insurance.
Yeah, I'm not taking my car there.
No. Maybe into the parking lot.
You can ride motorcycles on that track too, right?
Bondurant? I don't know.
I feel like you can. Miles, you would know.
It's like a driving school.
Bondurant? No?
Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be fun. I really want to rip.
Miller's the best place. I've been like, I don't know, most of the racetracks on the West Coast and motorcycles. Miller's the best. Do you ride
Yeah.
like a sport
I
bike?
used to. I got rid of it because everyone who owns one knows it's really easy to kill yourself on one.
Rich has got that super loud motorcycle now.
Yeah, I got the Harley now.
You could. I bet you they'd let you take that on the track.
That'd be pretty funny.
It'd be hilarious. You'd be dragging hard parts everywhere.
Oh yeah, it sits pretty low too. The fat boy I have, so I'd be scraping some chrome for sure.
You could just putt around in like third or fourth gear or whatever. How many gears does it have?
Purposefully go slow.
Yeah,
I had a Ducati Monster. I didn't fit on it, but I just had to have it. Yeah. It was like a toy bike that you see.
I got to do. Yeah, that's what I ride. I got a not a Monster, but I got a Duck. Just track only though.
Yeah, I had a few close calls on that thing. So I mean, when you're up, 120 plus, like you're just floating anyways. Your tires are barely hitting pavement on the freeway, right? I don't know, but I got the speed wobbles once, so going over 120.
How long was it? This long time ago?
No, I sold that in 2018.
Monster's is a handlebar bike though, right? It's not clip-ons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't really have the rake angle for super high speed stability, I don't think, but they're really maneuverable in the tight stuff.
Yeah. It was a fun bike. I got it. I've always wanted one. I'm part Guido too, so it's Italian.
Yeah.
They had a really nice custom paint job on it. It's just a beautiful bike.
I like the Monsters. I think they're pretty cool. I got a Hyper Motard for riding around on the street, and then I got a Ducati V4 for.
See, you'd look great on one of those. Me, I just, like you said earlier, I'm just.
Yeah, you need a Harley, like some beach bars
Yeah.
or something.
You know what my first motorcycle was?
Let me guess, Sportster.
No, it was a sport bike. It was a 1971 Honda CB350. So you thought I looked big on a Ducati
You
Monster.
couldn't take off unless it was downhill.
Pretty much. I just wanted it for nostalgic reasons. You know, it's like one of the first street bikes, and I mean, it had everything was original on it. And I was actually at one point gonna do a bunch of stuff, you know, like all the hipsters do, and I brought it to a junkyard in Boise, Idaho, to pick up parts.
Yeah.
And the owner had come out and he goes, "Don't you dare touch that bike." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I know what you're about to do to it, son. Don't do it. Keep it original."
Yeah.
And so I just did a bunch of work on the engine and got it moving. It was like, when I first bought it, it was gutless, maybe 5-10 miles per hour.
It's a
But
scooter.
I got it up to I was able to go up to 65 on the freeway with it. And I ended up selling it and making a pretty decent profit off of it because I had picked it up for $500.
Yeah.
I don't think the guy who I bought it from knew the value of it. I mean, the paint, everything, the filters, the filter caps, which I guess are really hard to find.
Yeah.
everything was original. And so I sold it to another guy who had an appreciation for it and bought the Ducati.
Yeah, my dad was always one of those guys that really likes to tinker with stuff and, appreciates all that stuff. I'm kind of been more like, how does it perform? I like the way it looks. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works. I put gas in it, and then the light comes on. I take it in and make worky.
I'm more like you, honestly. The Honda's a really easy engine to work on.
Yeah.
And my when I say that with so much confidence, but my father-in-law was a gearhead too. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
And so that was like our little project bike. So, I mean, I didn't do all the work on it, but I like to brag and think that I did, even though he was there like, hey, do this to that. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is we need a dead air race team for Miller, and that get Rich
I'd like to say this about the whole motorcycle category in general. Mm-hmm. I've never had one, nor really wanted one, and they look super uncomfortable. Dude. Is it too hot, too cold? It's got to be windy all the time. That's what's on the forecast,
when you're going fast,
right?
That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't seem... No.
The new bikes, like that V4, will go over 200 miles an hour.
Well, it could go 300. We're not getting a race team.
See,
come on, man.
Knowing Mike, though, knowing how you have an appreciation for horsepower and mechanics, it's such a different experience on a motorcycle, just open freeway. It's an addictive thing. I think about it. Like, I'm depressed right now. Last weekend, I fired up my Harley just to get, the blood flowing in it because it's been sitting all winter, and I just want to get out.
Did that annoy anyone?
Oh, I'm sure it did.
I'm sure it did.
This reminds me. I've know that look of Mike when he's kind of like ready. Yeah. Like when we're like, hey, all right, we need a shot of this. He's like, I know what we need a shot of. This BMP pulling up on a trailer. I was like, that is fucking. Someone told me that you said that, and I was like, that is fucking vintage Mike.
Yeah.
Like, let's get a cool shot of it, like driving off into the sunset.
Classic.
Well, that gentleman was talking about making us stay all night long because the sun had gone down and we had a wide load or whatever. I don't know trucker talk, but he seemed like it wasn't totally legal or whatever. And then I think he got into the same mood that I was in. Yeah. He was like, why don't we just load it up and then we'll go home? I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
That was a dramatic day because he didn't have the right flags. I was getting so pissed, and then we were getting late, and he didn't have the flags, and then Pyro missed a couple times, and then Aaron got whatever to his face. Yeah, he got sandblasted. Mm-hmm. Give him a little chemical peel. His body got backed into.
His what?
The Bonnie got backed into. You didn't hear that?
Oh.
I need to find a door. Passenger.
When?
Front door.
Right before we left. Everyone was loading up.
Do we know who did it?
Yes.
What vehicle was it?
The
White Dodge.
White Dodge.
The Balls kid. Trev, what's his name?
He lives here.
Cameraman, great guy.
He works with Black Rifle part-time.
Austin.
Mm-hmm. Austin.
We like him. Beautiful flowing hair.
Oh, that's a little call out to Evan Hafer, your boy.
Yeah, your boy crushed the Bonnie.
Yeah, he's gonna owe a Bonnie door.
Well, or he can come and do some photos with us and Miles and get some content.
He offered to, he found a door, but it was attached to the rest of an entire car that ran. And I was like, that's not really what we need. We just need a simple door. And I would prefer it to be green, but if it was a different color,
they kind of like,
we could just put it on anyway.
We're doing a giveaway too with the Bonnie too. So the timing was perfect.
Yeah. So what's the deal with that? I saw the video with, what's his nuts?
BJ.
Yeah, BJ.
Did you like the video?
I just saw one little one. I didn't know if that was the whole thing. I just saw like Mike running out and going, it was like 15 seconds.
Yeah, this was a 3-minute.
Yeah, I didn't see the 3-minute one.
The only reason why I ask is because you guys put out some pretty amazing stuff. So if you're like, yeah, it was great,
I'll check it out.
Yeah, let me know. Do you want to take it away, or do you want me to explain it?
Sure. No, it's super easy. We're giving away, and you don't have to take the car. It's kind of a joke.
You can blow it up too.
Or we could drop it off at a wrecking yard or whatever, but you enter to win by buying a T-shirt, patch, whatever. When we get all that stuff sold, pick a winner, and then we're going to bring that car to you. And you get a silencer your choice. And when we get there, you get to do what you want, like 4 a day.
With Mike
and Rich.
I'll be there to
like.
Am I eligible for this?
Yes.
Actually, you are. You could.
You absolutely are.
People wouldn't get mad if I
mean,
won?
now you're on our podcast and they know who you are, so they'd be like, "It's rigged. I hate dead air."
Well, maybe it's it's just the odds. Things happen.
Are you guys selecting the winner yourself, or you have some outside agency?
Outside.
Yeah. Or there's also, I've also considered using, because you get basically a spreadsheet, right, of all the people who've purchased product. And then you plug that into, like, there's apps that you can use that will generate the winner randomly.
Yeah. So you could just
we're not
do
gonna
it live
pick
and
it.
do a video and just be like, hey, here's it generating randomly.
Yeah.
Jim entered 900 times.
That's a good idea.
Jim would then win.
Yeah.
If you bought the remainder of the patches, there's a high likelihood that you would probably win.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then I get a
and-
free suppressor.
Yes.
With 97 Bonnie as the serial number.
Plus, we go to dinner at your favorite restaurant.
We're going to the
or
caviar
wherever
place.
you can afford. Yes.
We're going to the caviar place.
We go to the caviar place.
I'm going to be like, I don't even like this, but it's just, I know it's expensive.
Literally anywhere you want to go, you would. And then we can film Mike eating caviar.
We were talking about this earlier, and I don't know where we're at in time, but I think there's something to that. Like, we went to the Montage up at Deer Valley last night, which is like a nice place.
It's a very nice place. You have to take that little gondola to get up there.
I just drove up to the hotel.
But don't you have to get to the restaurant? You have to take that gondola up?
We were just at this place called the Vista Lounge.
Oh, okay, so you weren't at the actual
lobby.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And first off, I wasn't paying. But my business partner, one of my buddies, Jeff, he wanted to like do this fancy dinner, blah, blah, blah. And so he's like, caviar and champagne. And I'm like, I don't fucking really eat any of this shit. But I'm like, I'll try it. I think I'd had it once before, and it was obviously shitty because it tastes like fish eggs. So
Because it's fish eggs.
because it's fish eggs, right? So they come out, and I don't know how much any of this stuff costs, but there's a couple little cans, and there's this stuff you put on, and I'm thinking the whole time, I'm like, I eat it, and it's like, it doesn't taste like anything really. It's just a texture.
Mm-hmm.
And so all the stuff you garnish it with, like the shallots and chives and queso fresco, fucking sour cream. And that's what you taste. And so I'm kind of like, all right, like, what if pepperoni pizza was $400 a pizza?
I would love it. And
People
I
would be
review it.
like, man, I'm not eating caviar tonight because that's cheap. Like, I'm going for this pizza.
pepperoni.
There's something
pizza.
to it. It's weird,
Yeah.
man.
It's a money thing. This was taken out of a fish. These were babies.
They came and they were like, this was this and this type of sturgeon, and then it's raised over here because it's not. Did I put a metal fork in it? You thought I'd killed a baby or a puppy or something. They're like, oh, you can't do that. The metal reacts with the fish eggs, and you have to use this whalebone spoon or some shit. And I'm like,
What?
I'm like, take it away then. I don't want it if it's
Whalebone
had a fork in it. It's like, it tastes like nothing anyway. So does my fork. I just licked it. And but there's like a whole thing to it. But yeah, I think it's funny. I think some things is you can enjoy it based on how rare and how hard it is to get.
Maybe it like triggers some kind of like rich person nerve that you're just like, when you eat it, you're like, ugh.
Well, we all have it. Like it's just there's levels.
Yes.
You get a nice new F-150, and you're like, hell yeah! Like leather, it smells good. You're outside waxing it, and then somebody else needs a $300,000 Lambo. But then you step it up even further, and $300,000 to them is like $20 to us, and it's like, how do you get excited about a Lambo?
You're making very valid points.
Yeah, it's weird.
I think you stuff yourself on caviar, knowing that you're better than everyone else for sure.
I was just thinking, like, we left half of it in that can. I wonder if like the people that work there go back on, or are they just like, this stuff is gross?
They're probably more like, Dad, that's nasty, and you rich people make me sick.
Yeah, I think it was like 4 people. It was like close to $4,000. It was like 36 something.
Wow.
That's crazy.
sickening number.
That's why when we refer to some of like Mike talked about this a couple episodes back about how Camas needs a good drought, so that these wealthy people that come in here and raise the property value up way too high, you know, the drought will make them go away.
It'd sure help, wouldn't it? If they stayed, they could be thirsty with us.
Well, and then we, you know, you can pick them out pretty easily in Camas. You can tell a local from an outsider. They've got a specific look and smell and attitude about them.
Because you grew up in Camas?
No.
What
Well,
about you, Mike? Did you grow up in Camas?
I grew up in Heber, actually.
Oh, that's not too far.
but even you'd be able to be like, okay, that's someone from
Yeah.
California for sure.
You
But
mean like out of state, not like out of Camas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Just somebody that came with money and was
Came
like,
here,
I'm
yeah.
going to be a rancher.
I heard that Camas is where it's at. It's right outside of Park City.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mike refers to them as they're better than us, and they know it. So,
Globo Jim.
And they are.
We're better than you. We know it.
yeah,
Yeah.
sad.
I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it until I'm in a Smith's trying to get some milk, and one of them hits my cart because I'm in their way. That's when I draw a line. I'm like, all right, guy, we're gonna show you who's higher on the food chain. It's not about your wallet. It's about what I can do to you right now.
Yeah, that used to be one of my favorite sayings when someone's just talking like there's some invisible force field that's going to keep you from jumping across the table and strangling the shit out of them.
And it's getting worse.
Yeah.
COVID is bringing the best out of people.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
The look on their face when you tell someone, you're like, you know that there's no one that can save you before I can touch you from here.
Yeah.
And I'm not like some crazy badass or something, but some people, you know, just run their mouth like you can't get punched in it.
It's odd. You can definitely separate quickly someone who has been hit before, whether it's a schoolyard fight, like back in their, you know, cerebral cortex somewhere, they have a memory of what it felt like to get knocked out.
Yeah.
Or someone who hasn't.
Or experienced, you know, even violence greater than that, you know, like if seen people shot, stabbed. Like
Yeah.
you gotta expect that everything's on the table all the time.
Street
I
cred's
think.
a real thing.
Well, you just don't know. Like some little scrappy whatever person you don't care about, you know, you could pound out whenever you wanted. I mean, we've all seen the videos and stuff where dude gets shanked in the neck, and you're like, oh damn,
Yeah.
like you don't get a do-over for that, bro.
We brought this up the last episode. That couple in Pennsylvania pushed a little too hard on that guy.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, sad.
I like to get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you trying to accomplish? I've done that even like on the civil side where you like someone screws you over and you're like, man, I'm gonna sue this guy, you know, on a real estate deal or something like that, and you're like, I'm right, they're wrong, and then like a year later you still haven't got anywhere, and you're like 20G in lawyer fees, and you're like, oh, what am I doing?
Pride check.
Agreed.
You gotta
Pick your battles.
You got to pick your battles, man. You got to be as objective as possible.
I know the audience learned a lot out of this episode.
Yeah. For those of you that are still here, as we just sit here and bullshit.
Yeah. Well, the caviar thing, I'm on. Be honest, I had no idea. I mean, now I know if I ever eat caviar, don't touch it with metal, or you're gonna look like a fool.
I felt like if I would have known that, I would have touched it sooner.
Yeah.
It's never been offered to me.
I'll buy it just for you.
I appreciate that, but you really don't have to.
Okay, good, because I don't want to buy it.
I don't want to.
Sounds pretty expensive.
Yeah.
We'll just bring a can of
I'd rather
sardines.
trade whiskey and bullets.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
And armor.
Agreed.
Yeah, just think like you could have this vehicle behind you or like 15 of those dinners. Or 20 maybe.
That's a good way to put it.
Thinking that I'm
That's
not that hungry.
ridiculous. That's
And they have no idea what they're missing.
No. Although I think this was a lot of work to get this. You didn't just be able to just plop down and order it off eBay. Because these are like double once you get them here, right?
Yeah,
So
well,
if you
I think it would probably be worth about double if it actually gets here. I think most people lose their money on them
Yeah.
trying to get them here. It's
Yeah.
scary.
It's gamble.
It is a
Yeah.
great gamble.
Gamble 70 or spend 150 or whatever, 120.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, do you want to go safe?
Yeah.
Mike knew.
Due diligence, though.
You definitely knew going into it. Like, you had every base covered. You knew what the worst thing could happen.
Well,
We're ready.
There's only so many variables you can
a
control.
little
though.
bit. I mean, it was risky, but what do you do?
And it shows up and it's like, oh man, this isn't the one that was as described. What are you going to do? Get a refund?
And going over to look at it was not really on the table either. I would rather risk it than travel internationally.
Can you say where you got it from? Are you?
England.
I would have loved going there to check it out. Hey guys, I'm in England right now, checking out the tank I'm about to buy.
Oh, England. That's not too bad. I thought you bought it from Russia.
No, it's actually a guy had it in Ireland.
Okay.
So I moved from Ireland to England and England to L.A. actually.
All in what year?
It's 1990 something.
No, I mean, how long did it take you to get it in?
Oh, I
Bang the
think
bullets.
about 8 months,
Yeah.
something like that. 8 or 9, 7, somewhere right in there.
So if you didn't get a BMP, what would have been your second choice? Or your first choice if this was your second choice? Like if Jim needs a piece of armor at some point. I guess I got armor, but it's a paperweight right now.
That's a good question. I didn't really have it. All my research kind of said you should get a BMP. I don't think I'd have gotten anything if I wouldn't have gotten it.
Do you think there's any variants that are better than others? BMP 1, BMP 3?
Well, obviously a 3 would be better than
It's
a
got a
2
big
or a
main
1.
gun,
But I specifically looked for the OT90 variant because it has KPVT instead of 73 millimeter cannon. Mm-hmm. So it's got like a BDR turret on it, and my main goal was to
Put a 50
farmeritize an M2 into that.
Yeah. Because they obviously demil the main gun if you get a 70 mil or whatever it is.
Yeah, but you could reactivate, but then how do you get ammo and what do you do with it? And I wanted something that you could get ammo for at Walmart.
Hey,
American Eagle, baby.
since we're still on the topic of the BMP, I really want to film it in water.
You should film it in water then.
So, Jim, if you ever have a need for BMP in
You're
water,
down to swim it?
What,
Have you swam
yeah.
it before?
No, but
You would?
it
It's
seems pretty
amphibious.
sealed up.
I guess if you could limp in and kind of make sure you're good before you're like fully committed.
Yeah, I don't see it leaking. It's got good seals.
Yeah.
It'd float.
That
Imagine
that
the
GPV I
content.
got supposed to swim too.
Nice. Should we find a little private pond where somebody will let us?
First thing is I
Drive
like
them
get that
across
damn
it.
thing running again.
Oh, you haven't gotten it
Yeah.
back yet.
Yeah. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, technology.
I'm sure you could fix it in 15 minutes.
I don't know about
Probably.
that. Don't you need some kind of a computer unlocking thing?
I know I press the start button and it's not working.
Let's do a LS conversion like all the kids are doing on YouTube and make it run that way.
I think I could just like bypass all that though. I think it's just like a bulldozer motor.
It might be time for that.
guys, you know it's going to be a good podcast when we go 30 minutes beyond what we normally go.
We'll have to
Maybe.
splice that
No,
in
I
a
don't
little
think
bit.
so.
Maybe that is-
I think we leave it.
We just like fucking rambled on the whole time.
No, I think
You
that
take out all my bleeps and you're back down to the regular time.
30 minutes.
Yeah, that'll shorten it up.
No, it's good. I think that, listen to Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, the good episodes that I like and want to listen to, it takes me a few days to watch or listen to because they're like 3-4 hours long. So we're nowhere near that, but
Wow.
we are definitely stretching the
All right.
time limit here, and I love it. Let us know if you guys like the hour and a half. I mean, we're just trying to figure this out. So typically we try to stick to around an hour, but this was awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me up.
Yeah, thanks for coming up and thanks for listening.
We didn't even get to us.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. All right. Turn on the other cameras.
We'll see you guys next episode.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share with all your home slicers.